Oh, hey y'all, what's tea? It's your girl Drie, and I'm here to answer 10 questions that y'all have been asking me about my debut EP. So let's get into it. Let's not waste time, rapid fire, okay? Alright. Was there a moment during recording when you thought, this is it, this is the heart of the EP? Undoubtedly, this is, I don't know, like late November 2024 when I recorded Nothing is the Same. It was the first phone demo of Nothing is the Same, actually. And I think that song really held up a mirror to me, in a sense. It made me realize what I was capable of. It made me realize that I wanted the project to be conceptual and thematic and rich and poetic and really layered in a way. So I think I am really grateful for that song, honestly. It taught me what I was capable of. And, this is just the beginning of what I am capable of. But it really, really, really helped me, kind of funnel the rest of the ideas into the story that I was telling. And I hope this helps. Okay. What's a memory you keep revisiting these days? I don't know. So, boom, I'm 10 years old on the streets of Accra, and it's a Saturday around, like, maybe I will say 4 p.m. Yeah, Saturday around 4 p.m. And honestly, if you grew up on the streets of Lagos or Abuja or wherever you are, or Nairobi, wherever you are, you might relate to the story I'm about to tell y'all. So boom, it's a Saturday around 4 p.m. You're with your friends and y'all are having mad fun. Okay, y'all are flying kites. And this particular one that I keep thinking about is when we used to have a piece of cloth. You would tie both ends around your waist like so, and then you hold the opposite ends and you run uphill, and it fills that cloth with air. And we used to call it parachute because, it felt like, you're in a parachute. I don't know what the hell I was thinking. That was not a parachute, y'all. But it sure as hell felt like it. And, we weren't limited by what was real. We were more fascinated by ingenuity and crafting a semblance of reality for ourselves, playing make-believe. And I don't know, it was like peak freedom. And I find myself drifting back to those days these days because I feel like growing up and chasing the notion of freedom, or what I thought it was, and then getting there and then realizing, wait, no, I was actually experiencing and living without constraints, even at a time that I felt like there were so many constraints, but it was actually unreal. And yeah, I keep revisiting those days a lot. Hopefully I get to do that one more time. Maybe next time I'm in Ghana, I'm definitely gonna do that. Okay. Who or what surprised you the most while making this project? This would have to be Fred Irie. It would have to be. I mean, there's so many incredible moments that I would trade for absolutely nothing. Moments that I cherish, people that I cherish deeply on this project. But it would have to be Fred Irie, y'all. Look, nothing is the same. Y'all's curse. Get up. Tell me what you want. It's so funny because when I discovered Fred Irie, I think about 3 years ago, I thought to myself, I'm like, wow, like this guy's incredibly talented. It's the Spanish guitar, and it's the bossa nova swing, and it's his ability at like Afrofusion and, like the jazz, everything. I mean, I love Fred Irie, and when I discovered him, I thought to myself, wow, I would love to work with this guy, but it felt impossible because, he's like continents away from me, and, his music was published online. I'm like, wow, how many people am I competing with to get, Fred, like how can I actually get this guy to notice me? But as you can see, he's on 4 out of 6 of the tracks on the EP. And I am eternally grateful for him for sharing his music with me in such a remarkable way and being a part of the project. And yeah, let's see. What question do you wish people ask you more often? How much time we got? Huh? How much? No, 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 no. I would say, wow, Drie. Oh, I'm loving the project. I'm loving the project. How much money you need? I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I think a question I would like people to ask me more often is, I don't know, like anything along the lines of like, what does freedom mean to you, or like, what is the state of the health of our minds today? That's also another really good one. I actually don't have a direct answer to it, but I like questions that make me have to think. And I feel like in the thinking process, as my gears are turning, I light at an answer or a semblance of an answer or whatever it is. But I don't think it's so rooted in the answer as in the thought process and how I get there, how I arrive there. I think that's the most fascinating part of, the whole thinking process. So ask me any questions that get my lights going. Ask me questions, y'all. But also, ask me how much money I need, because I do need money. Okay, so what's the sound that instantly reminds you of home? I'm gonna have to put the mic down for this because I need to demonstrate. Okay. Oh my God, y'all, this is crazy. Every time I do that, I feel like it's like some type of hypnosis thing that takes over me. Every time I hear the 5-beat drum pattern of Ghana, I'm just instantly transported into Accra. And I'm there and I'm hearing book back, Colum. Yo, the way that shit, it hits like, it really does feel like hypnosis. I ain't gonna lie. It's like that 5. Oh my God. Look, yes, Ghanaian music instantly reminds me of home. Instantly. Okay. What's the most interesting thing someone has said about the project? Ooh. Okay, I wish I had my phone on me so I can actually read the message, but I will try to remember vaguely what was said. And it was in a DM that I received from Gively Mafia. Shout out to you. Shout out to you. So I just like wake up one morning, open my phone, and I have this message from Gively Mafia. And he was like actually describing my project back to me. And I think he mentioned something about it being like conceptually rich and really dense and philosophically driven. And I absolutely love that comment. I felt like it was the first time that, as artists, we create with intention, obviously, and we know what we're creating in our head. But it was the first time that someone had repeated it back to me at the level of understanding that feels like he was in the room around the people that I was around when I was making the projects. Like it felt like he had really listened to it. He had gone over it and he had, understood the intent, the meaning, and, the structure and everything. And it really made me feel seen. So shout out to you, Gively. We locked in for sure. Okay. What's one book, movie, or song that shaped the way you see the world? Oof. Okay. Okay. Keyword or. I will share two. I'll share a book and an album, actually. I know that so many people talk about how inspired by Miss Hill they are, but I am genuinely in awe of the Miseducation album. I am in awe. I don't know what more to say. So it's so funny because Miss Hill and I are like, we almost share a birthday. She's on the 28th of May and I am on the 27th of May. I'm like, duh, like, are you dumb? But no, honestly, I am very inspired by that album because I felt like it was like peak vulnerability. It's like a combination of like artistic expression, psychological inquiry into the topic and subject of love. And then it's also like conceptual. And then it's also vulnerable. So I absolutely love that work. I think it has shaped the way that I think about love. It has shaped the way I think about interpersonal relationships. But it's also shaped the way that I think about music itself, and the power of art and the power of a cohesive album and the opportunity to educate, entertain, and think and essentially show a map of your thinking process on record. Like, masterpiece. And for one book that has shaped the way I think, it would have to be Bell Hooks's All About Love, that was gifted to me by a very dear friend of mine. And I think in the book, she wrote a little notes in there when she gifted it to me. And I really frequently think about that and how much it has actually changed my life. How I think about the word love and the practice of it. So it's definitely those two pieces of art transform the way I think. Okay. If your EP was a movie, what would the opening scene look like? All right, check it out. Boom. You are downtown somewhere in a busy street. And I don't mean downtown somewhere like downtown Ohio, or I don't know. Well, do they have a downtown? Somebody. Okay, I ain't even trying to be petty. But think about your downtown somewhere, busy city. There's people walking past and it feels like you just woke up and it's like a hazy dream like state. But then everyone around you has masks on. And it's so funny because as I'm describing this, I'm realizing that we're literally living that. Well, like everything that's been going on in the world today. Crazy. Fuck ICE. But you're in this state, it's busy and there's people walking past you, but then it feels like everyone is like wearing the same outfit and everyone is walking in like a predictive manner, almost like artificial intelligence. And essentially it's rooted in that type of conceptual world. And it's funny because we're actually living it. So yeah, that would be the opening scene, and that would be Nothing Is the Same, because I start with such a powerful opener, which is a statement on our current state physically, but then also mentally. So that would be the opening scene. Okay, we got some more. Which lyric from the project would you want me to tattoo? Okay, y'all, don't let me be a bad influence on y'all, okay? But if you were to get some ink for the queen, I would say there's a couple of lines to choose from, obviously. But it would have to be the line spiritually planted. So the full line is spiritually planted, Babylon cannot deceive. But personally, I think I would get spiritually planted, and it would have to be a plant of some sort, a tree of some sort, something deeply rooted, something that has roots that go deep. I know the plant, or well, not plant, the tree that I want to get tattooed, but I don't want to impose that on you, so I won't say it. But it would have to be the line spiritually planted. Those two words, spiritually planted. It's so deep. It's so deep. And I feel like it would be a reminder every day that you look at it to be mentally resilient and also to be spiritually resilient. So don't tell your mom I told you to get some ink. But if you are to get it, go ahead, do spiritually planted. What song from the project should I listen to when I need strength, peace, and when I need to learn to love? Learn to love. I don't think I have something specifically for learning to love. Tell me what you want. It's not about learning to love. It's about growing in love. So I will speak to the strength piece and to the peace piece. See what I did there? But if you want strength, I will definitely turn to authenticity. I feel like it's that girl, like, you know, like when you need to like pop your shit, when you need to be assertive and you need to remember that you are not competing with people and you need to be spiritually planted, I would listen to authenticity, authenticity, authenticity. Of course, there's also Get Up. I like those two. They're interchangeable. And when you need peace, I would listen to Nothing Is the Same. It's funny because it's the first song and it's the calmest song on the project. It's very serene, so I would definitely listen to Nothing Is the Same if you needed peace. Before I get rowdy on Get Up and Authenticity. And then break it right back down with Woman. Ooh, maybe I would listen. If you're a woman, I would still listen to Authenticity. I would listen to Authenticity, Get Up, and then Woman, you know. Maybe you're getting ready in the morning, you're doing your makeup. I would definitely listen to Woman for that one. So yeah, that is all our 10 questions. My cup is empty. So for sure, it has been fun hanging out with you and sipping some tea. Yeah, I hope you check out the project. Hope this helps. I hope you check out the project. And until next time, ciao. Bye.